Our everyday life as a poor Claire is, we know that the poor Claire life is a life of prayer, but I think it's more of a life of faith. Because yes, we pray, but everything, every day, somehow it looks like it's the same every day. We get up in the morning, we pray at midnight, and then we pray in early morning, and then different times of the day, the mid-morning, midday, and mid-afternoon, and the evening prayer, and then the night prayer. All our days, all our hours are actually within that life of prayer. But for me, all these years, I realized that being a poor Claire is not so much of really praying, but becoming prayer itself. And I remember St. Clare, during the process of canonization, the sisters, most of the sisters described her as praying unceasingly. When I was a postulant, I thought, is it possible to pray unceasingly? But then now, after years of being a poor Claire, it is not only possible, but it is the only way to be able to really pray, not really praying, but letting the Lord pray in your heart. Our adoration of the Blessed Sacrament, we have 24 hours of adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. And every time we come to God to adore Him in the Blessed Sacrament, I realize it's not really we adoring God, but every time we come to God for adoration, God adores us. And all we do during our prayer is to open our hearts, open our minds, and let God pray in us. And if we can do that, then prayer is not so much our work, it becomes our breath, it becomes our life. And our one I said about faith, because sometimes people would ask us to pray for them. But then when we really do not know if our prayers were answered, so sometimes we wonder. And that is where faith comes. A life of faith is knowing that what you do every day, simple as it is, like sweeping the floor, cooking the meals, washing the dishes, and praying, and then our recreation or our common work. If it is done in faith, then we know that God blesses every work. And that is one thing I realized when I was a postulant. My mistress told me, the life of a poor Claire is every time when we pray, we sanctify the day. We make the hours holy. And I said, how can I make the hours holy when I cannot pray even for 30 minutes and sincerely with all my heart? But then I realized, as we go through prayer every day, as we open our hearts to God in prayer, every hour that we spend is blessed because God dwells in us. And if God dwells in us, everything we touch is blessed, not because of us, but because of the indwelling of God in us. And it's blessed. And even sickness, even conflicts in community, you can see it as part of just like a meal. If it's all potatoes and tomatoes, it doesn't really taste anything. But if you put some little garlic or little spices, and then though it sometimes stings your tongue because it's hot, but it makes the food delicious. And I think conflicts in community life sometimes, when it happens, it sharpens our heart, and it also expands our heart to embrace more. So for me, my life as a poor Claire, every day, simple as it is, done in faith, is a blessing. And I know in my simple way, hopefully I am blessing the world.